pleased to be joined by head coach Turner Gill. Coach, thanks for stopping in.
Great to be here again.
You go up against Baylor. It was a big win, a big name win. Emotionally, it charged your group. But then you come in against Moorhead State. Not quite the same name, but how happy were you with your team for them to be able to stay focused? And, you came out those first couple of drives. You had energy. Were you worried about them being flat at all?
Well, I knew we were at home. The home crowd was going to kind of give us some energy and the enthusiastic. Our crowd was fantastic. The student section was just phenomenal. Our players came out and executed like we wanted to do for particularly early. Offense came out and did some things. Defense did the stops and all that. So we started off really, really well.
Was this pass game a coach's dream in the sense that you get to halftime and you know that you can run some of your depth players in the second half of the game and not worry about bringing in your starters again and giving them some PT?
Well, it was kind of in the back of my mind, to be honest with you. Should I have played them one more series, offense or defense? We did have our first team in there for about 2 series. But I just felt like it was pretty much in hand, but I also wanted to get some guys some repetition. Our backup quarterback, Mason Cunningham, and we had several other people, second-team offensive line, so it was great to get guys experience. We're going to need probably half of those guys. They're going to play in some games for us. That's going to be very instrumental to help us be successful.
You guys have put some points on the board so far this year, and your wideouts have had some quality games. AGG the first game, Farrow this last one, King even had a great play. Is this the most talented group of receivers that you've had during your time here and maybe all of Liberty history?
Well, I think it's definitely up there. We'll see how everything goes to the rest of the season. I feel really good about what Coach Daly has done from the offensive coordinator position. Also, we hired a new receivers coach in Kyle DeArmor. This is his first year being our full-time coach. He's been a quality control guy, but he's a former player here, so he understands what this university is all about. He understands how to teach these guys. We're playing about 5 or 6 receivers, so even though you hear some guys with some big numbers, but we actually are playing quite a bit. Just like in the first ball game, we hit about 11, 12 different receivers. So I really feel good about where we're at, and it's just a tremendous job by Kyle DeArmor and Joe Daly.
You sit right now 2-0, the sea of red out there. All the fans are stoked. They're sunny days right now, but I'm sure you as a coach, you're not completely satisfied. Where are some areas that your team can improve in your mind?
Well, from this last ball game, I think the biggest thing was really penalties. We got to make sure we correct those things there. You're going to have a penalty. We kind of say maybe 1 5-yard penalty. We say maybe 1 10-yard or 1 15-yard. Say 20 yards of penalties. We can accept that. But probably anything over that is not acceptable for us. So we had quite a few of those things. Some of them were aggressive penalties, as we had, I think, a couple of them that for late hits on the quarterbacks or targeting, and that's a tough deal. But you got to make sure from now on we're teaching them that way. Stay away from the neck, stay away from the head. You just don't even get close to that because you put yourself in a vulnerable position to get called. So we're going to get those things corrected. So that'll be the major thing, is limiting our penalties.
We turn our attention this week coming up here. Indiana State Sycamore's come to town. They're sitting at 0-2. In your mind, is this a dangerous team just because they don't have a win? I'm sure they're angry and they'd love to come and upset you at home.
Well, yeah, we just still, again, it's always the 18 to 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds. You're trying to teach them about each and every game, as they're very, very important. Don't worry about their record. It's all about us. We have some things we need to improve on and work on: offense, defense, and special teams. And this team here, they beat us 3 years ago. So that doesn't have a factor in this game, but that's something to try to motivate our guys internally. And so we'll get our coaches to coach them up. We'll get our players to be ready to play, and we need to play our best football game here in our third game.
Offensively, they haven't been great, but their running back, Lamonte Booker, is getting 5 yards a touch. How do you shut this guy down?
Well, we're definitely going to know where he's at, number 6. He's definitely a good football player. He's a senior, so he was on that team 2 years ago when we played him. I like his style. He's patient but explosive. So he can do a lot of different things. He does catch the ball out of the backfield. So they do have some talent. They got a new coach. They got a new offensive coordinator. So we don't want this game to be that game where they get the gelling from their standpoint on the offensive side of the ball, but they do have some talent.
We go from offense to defense. Their defense is pretty solid. Mm-hmm. Could this be the best defense that you've seen so far this year in this group?
Well, I think, I think Baylor still has the more talent. It's a matter of them playing together. I think they are a good unit playing together. Kurt Mallory, their head football coach, worked at Wyoming, who's a friend of mine. Craig Bowl, the head coach at North Dakota State. So I know they're going to be sound defensively. They play well together as a unit. So they're solid. We just got to make sure they're going to make us earn it. And we can't allow any mistakes, turnovers and penalties and those kind of things to continue to let them have some success.
Well, Coach, thanks for stopping by. Always good talking football with you.
Well, it's good to be here, and to God be the glory.